The Ducks have been fielding a couple more teams recently, fairly new teams with some newer players, but they have been performing rather impressively under the guidance of the main Mandarin team. Duel at Dawn, very small map. You have lots of brawling opportunity, lots of cover, especially in these ribs on either side. You end up with brawling a lot. Aboard that which will be for the gents. It is a Pyramidion, being piloted by Velvet. On the front is a Gatling and a Carronade, with a couple of Banshees on the port side. Aboard the Pinprick, a Pyramidion, being piloted by Zingy Zo. It is a Metamidion. Gat Mortar forward, with a Banshee and a Flare on the port side. They do like their Banshees. And for the Clamour, we have the Wildfire, a Pyramidion, being piloted by Mr. Ace Rimmer. He is a very, very proliferant pilot. We have a Gat Mortar on the forward, with a Merc Artemis, on the port side. And aboard the Bill Me Later, a Junker, ramming its ally, being piloted by Barrett. However you want to pronounce that. We have an Artemis and Hades on the port side, with an Artemis on the front for a trifecta, and a Gat Mortar on the starboard for brawling, and some nice defense. Already, that which will be is coming under fire from the Bill Me Later, throwing out some Hades and Artemis shots, aiming for the engine, that which will be bumping around, getting behind some cover, going alongside the Pinprick. So right now, both teams know where one another are. It's going to be a little bit difficult for either team to make a move right now, but I think that the Clamour is in a more advantageous position right now, just because they can see which side the gents are going to come around, and they can have their guns all ready. Especially with the Junker. The Junker can turn its guns very quickly for a trifecta. I think that the Clamour suspects the gents are going to come around this side right over here. And indeed they are. Yeah, they're looking to make something happen. That which will be coming in low. The Pinprick is spotted. Bill Me Later is spotted as well. Guns are in arc for the Bill Me Later, but it's moving pretty fast. Has something important about this game. If the ship is moving, the bullets inherit the velocity of the ship. It inherits the momentum of the ship, I should say. Bill Me Later has its guns in arcs, but the Pinprick is hiding behind this little pole. Not really a pole, it's more of a pipe. And they're looking for an opportunity to go in. Both of these ships are closer range. That which will be more disable-oriented. Pinprick, more kill-oriented. They got one mortar amongst them. That's plenty to get a kill if they focused on the same target. And here they come. Look at that synchronicity. They are moving in at the exact same time. That which will be is the target. Wildfire firing down on it, but it wastes a lot of those shots, firing too early. There's a couple test shots in the Pinprick. They know that the Bill Me Later is in range, and they are firing that Gat in there, but a lot of it is missing because of that small hull. Mortar comes in early. They recognize that they're not going to be able to hit the hull. That which will be under a lot of fire from the Wildfire, though. Mortar comes out. Armor's not coming back up. First kill for the Clamour. They picked the wrong target. Wildfire had such an easy shot on that which will be, and now the Pinprick is in a lot of trouble. It's firing down on the Bill Me Later. Wildfire turning its Tukas over to the Pinprick. Maybe a bit of a mistake. That's going to put the Pinprick in a much better position. Now it's turning hard. Gat going down on the Wildfire. Armor's getting shredded. Hull is exposed. Mortar comes out. 1 for 1 for the gents. However, the gents are in a better position because the Bill Me Later did take some hull damage there. Carronade goes out on the Bill Me Later. That which will be has come in. Ram! Look at that ram. That is going to rip through the armor, and now the hull is exposed. Very, very bad for them. There's the mortar. Picks up the Bill Me Later. With that balloon down, it was so easy to land that mortar. It didn't matter if the Pyramidions were above it. They could hit the balloon, and it would go straight into the armor. They had to concentrate on the armor instead of the balloon. There was no hope in that situation. Wildfire spawns away. I think the gents don't know where they spawned. There we go. Clamour going to spawn pretty close to one another. And the gents are going to back up. They don't know where the Clamour is right now. Clamour has a general idea of where the Mad Hatters are. I should call them the Mad Hatters. So the Mad Hatters are just going to take position behind cover. They have flares. They can throw them out, but right now it would just reveal them. It would be a guarantee reveal on them, but it would not necessarily reveal their enemies, and so they are going to back up. They're going to back up behind this nice big piece of cover over here. Going to take their time with this. There's no rush. They have no rush. Gents moving around. For a moment, we have peace. The Clamour taking position. They're willing to wait. The Bilmulator definitely has the advantage. The Clamour overall has the advantage if they decide to wait, because they'll be able to see where the Mad Hatters are coming from, and they'll be able to snipe them out with that long-range build. The Hades is absolutely brutal against Pyramidians when they charge in. But they're both going to come around into the ribs. They're going to spot each other very, very quickly here. That which will be in the pinprick coming out of the clouds. They're going to get spotted. They have spotted each other, and they have found each other very, very close. That which will be lagging a little bit behind the pinprick. But I think they're going to be okay. Gat goes down on the Bilmulator, but double Gat going down on the pinprick. Its armor is already down. Mortar going to come out imminently. The pinprick has got to do something speedy right now, or else it's going to die. Goes past the Junker. The Junker can keep arc easy. Armor goes down once again. There it is. Wildfire lost its armor, but that which will be does not have a mortar. It has a carronade, and now its armor is going to go down. The Wildfire, however, does have a mortar, going to give it an advantage in this straight-up fight. The pinprick desperately trying to keep itself alive right now, but it's lost a turning engine. It is going to be very difficult for the clumsy Pyramidian to turn, and it doesn't even matter. Pinprick goes down. That's going to be 2 for 2 in favor of nobody, because that does make it even. That which will be backing up is in a bad position, taking a lot of hull damage, and only a little bit of damage went down on the Wildfire. This is a huge advantage for the Clamour if they decide to engage. I'd almost say that which will be should give up this kill, give himself some health, so we can actually make the next engagement worthwhile. Pinprick spawns in quick, though. It doesn't want to give anything up. Wildfire taking some serious armor damage. Pinprick turning its mortar into arc. Where's the armor on the Wildfire? There goes that which will be. This may be a meat grind. Pinprick going to be the next target. Bilmulator has an arc, but the Wildfire has the bad side of the pinprick. The bad side of the Wildfire was facing the pinprick. There were no guns there. And so it was absolutely hopeless, especially when you have that longer side of the Pyramidian. You see it's much easier to hit. Bilmulator eating some Gat, but so's the pinprick. The Gatling's damaged. They need to repair it. There it goes down to the Bilmulator. They're a little bit above it, but not too far up. Mortar goes out, but it's getting loaded into the balloon. Nice defensive play, but the Wildfire rips through... No. Though that which will be came in, ripped through the balloon, with that carronade, made those mortars that were hitting the balloon land into the hull. Bilmulator almost down. Gat going down on the pinprick, but I think it's going to be okay. Wildfire needs to reload. Pinprick needs to get above the Wildfire, but there it is. Armor's down. Mortar going to come out, and that's it for the pinprick. It was that easy. Bilmulator going to go down as well, though. That which will be in the Wildfire now staring each other down, but the Wildfire has a Gat mortar. That which will be has a Gatling carronade. I can tell you who's going to win this fight if that which will be decides to fight this, but he is going to back up. No, he's not. He is going to charge forward. He has to be trying to charge past him because he has a serious disadvantage. Whack goes down on the Wildfire. Wildfire has impact bumpers, but that which will be and Wildfire both lose their armor, but the pinprick has spawned in. Just barely gets the advantage with that spawn. Only barely. 5-4. Serious brawling. The Bale Mutilator got focused down pretty nicely. It was the target most of the time. That was a very clutch spawn. That spawn right there was perfect. And I think that Velvet, who was piloting That Which Will Be, knew that Zingy was going to be spawning in. Mad Hatters just barely picked up the last game with seconds to spare. That game was decided in seconds. Northern Fjords, it is a very wide open map. Lots of cloud cover, but you throw a single flare into that, and then you nullify a lot of it. We got a couple of really big pieces of cover over here. This archway is one of them. Gets used for sniping a lot. Then you have these mountains over to the south side, which is where the Mad Hatters are spawning. Aboard That Which Will Be for the Mad Hatters, we have a Pyramidion being piloted by Velvet. It has a Hades and an Artemis on the front, with a Banshee and a Flare on the left side. Aboard the Pinprick, a Pyramidion being piloted by Zingy Zoe. We have a Gap Mortar forward, so it's a Metamidion, with a double Merc port side. Still want that. Aboard the Wildfire for the Clamour, we have a Pyramidion being piloted by Mr. Ace Rimmer. It is a Gap Mortar forward Pyra, with an Artemis and Merc port side. And aboard the Bufflehead, a Pyramidion being piloted by NH Barrett. There we go. There's a better front side. We have a Merc Artemis forward, so that is very much a sniping Pyramidion with a Gat and Flare port side, just in case. Again, Quad Pyra. What happened to the meta? What is going on, guys? Help me out here. I don't understand. Wildfire and Bufflehead, I think they have an idea of where the gents are moving. I shouldn't call them the gents. There's the gents team, and then there's the Mad Hatters. That Which Will Be in Pinprick moving around here. They're trying to use this bit of cover. This is a very dangerous spot to be, though. Especially if brawling starts to happen. Brawling is very, very scary in this area. You can see it's difficult to maneuver around. You have this jaggedy lower section. Very easy to get caught in these little ruts if you end up losing your balloon or some such, which is possible. We do have weapons that can start fires on both these ships, namely the flares, but also the Artemis. The Artemis has a chance to ignite. Wildfire and Bufflehead, they know where the Mad Hatters are. They're quite confident about this. They're both facing toward it, but they are both facing slightly different directions in case they come out. Now, I'm a little bit dubious of where these ships are hanging out right now because the Pinprick could come in very, very hard very quickly. No flares have gone out. That Which Will Be is silhouetted in the clouds. Bufflehead firing in on him, but he's lowering. Not only is this going to bring the Artemis and the Mercury out of arc, but it also is going to make those Hades easier to land. Here we go. He's rising up a little bit. Pinprick has been spotted, and he's coming in hard on the Bufflehead. Hades coming out as well. This is some nice focus fire from the Mad Hatters, and I think this may be it for the Bufflehead. This focus fire is just far, far too much. There it goes. First kill going for the Mad Hatters. Wildfire in a fair bit of trouble right now. That Which Will Be turning its guns into arc on it. The Wildfire has exposed its port side to That Which Will Be, but the Hades are missing. Pinprick in a lot of trouble right now. It's burning hydrogen to try to rise above the Wildfire, and it's going to work. It just wants to buy time for That Which Will Be to fire on the Wildfire, but the Bufflehead is spawned in. The Mad Hatters are fighting in the spawn of the Clamour. Armor goes down on the Wildfire. Artemis coming in. Serious damage onto the Wildfire hull, but the Bufflehead is here for support. Merc and Artemis can get as close as they like. Armor goes down on the Pinprick, but the Bufflehead isn't going to get the ram it's looking for, and the Wildfire is eating it. Now the Bufflehead is alone. This is a meat grind in the spawn of the Clamour. This is not something you want to have happen. It's something that shouldn't happen. Now the Bufflehead in a lot of trouble. Armor going down to the Gatling. Armor's down. There's the mortar. There's the Artemis. Bufflehead going to go down very quickly. If the armor goes down again, they get a whack on it. It's kerosining back, but there is very little hope left for him. There he goes. Pinprick finish, or no, That Which Will Be actually got the last hit on that one. They both finish him off. Wildfire makes the wise decision, spawns a good distance away. The Mad Hatter, are the Mad Hatters bold enough to charge after the wildfire? Because if they do, this spawn, the one of the blue spawns is right about here. It's going to expose them. No, the Bufflehead spawns far away from his ally and out of arc. Interesting decision. Wildfire going to be the focus. Bufflehead, though, I think wants to get a bit of a sneak attack on him, but the Pinprick is charging in with Kerosene. Wildfire going to be in a lot of trouble if the Bufflehead doesn't make a move now. Okay, Bufflehead is coming in to intercept. It does have arc on the that which will be, and it's eating fire from it. There goes the Gat on both the Wildfire and Pinprick. We got a meta battle, but the Wildfire gets the worst end of that bump. Pinprick doing a nice job of angling that bump. It threw the guns out of arc and gave the Pinprick the advantage it needed, but now the Bufflehead has arc on it. I'm not sure that it's going to be enough, though. Merc comes out, armor's almost down, but that which will be is focusing it down hard. There's the mallet whack on the Pinprick. Going to bring it back up. It's going to be okay. That which will be charging in. Just wants to get in as close as possible while still being in the arming time range, but actually is closed in anyway. Pinprick coming in behind that which will be no Kerosene for one reason or another. They've decided against it. I guess they just want to take this methodically, but that's going to give the Wildfire time to come in. He's right around the corner. He just has to turn the corner, but the Bufflehead is going down. Pinprick charges in. This may be it. Armor's back up. Gat's going down. Wildfire coming in behind him. Kill goes out, and that's going to be it. Mad Hatters pick up a very, very convincing second game. 5-0. That is the unfortunate truth of the meat grind. If you cannot stop a meat grind, then you're going to get ripped apart by a team that can focus. Mad Hatters doing a nice job of disassembling the Clamour in that second game. Northern Fjords is very much a gent map. The gents are much, much stronger on an open map like that on Northern Fjords. That is going to be 2-0 in the favor of the Mad Hatters.